Welcome back to another informative and exciting episode of podcast where we cover everything cannabis and hemp. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please do so, as this will help us sustain our channel. And remember to cannabis responsibly at all times.
Greetings. Firstly to of course Balayikhaya Enhlangweni. We have been invited by the Royal Tribal Council, represented by Inkosi Sizwe Dlamini, as members of the Imali Wealth group, members of the community, members of government, induna zalesigodi zasenhlangwini, and the most important, the community of this village. Igama lami Mfundo Hlophe Isibongo. It's a great pleasure to have the opportunity, firstly, to be in front of everyone present here today, but most importantly, to build with this community. Before I start, yesterday when we arrived, we came a bit late because sisuka kude sosuka kwandonga ziyaduma eGoli. Ngiye ngaxolisa enkosini ukuthi isibekezelele ngoba sihlangana neyinkinga eziningi endleleni, kodwa sithe sifika la ekhaya samukela. Ukwamukelwa kwethu inkosi yathi yena umuntu omthandazo, umuntu wesonto, umuntu omphakathi, more importantly. The project we have all gathered here to talk about is ukutshala, to plant. And what we are planting today, imbewu, a seed. The seed we are planting is called Agri-Smart Villages. I think when I was very young, my father used to drag me to church. Sometimes I would not really comprehend or listen to what was said in church. Kodwa khona story engisaziyo. It was a parable esathulwa uNkosi uJesu ekhuluma ngokutshala, to plant. The story goes, a man went out to sow grain. Grain, as we understand it, is something that goes into the ground. It goes in encane ngaka. And the ground that this grain is planted in has different characteristics. When this seed is planted, umetshali uphosa nje noma ike lembewu lena, some fell on the path and was stepped on by birds, and the birds ate it. So therefore they did not see the value of the seed. the value of lembe. It was thrown away, never grew. Some of the seed fell on rocky ground where there was little soil. The seed sprouted, but when the sun came up to it, it burnt the young plant. That means there was lack of commitment to make sure that this seed goes deep enough in the ground and receives the proper nutrients. As umtshali, there was a lack of commitment. And the stones can't nurture the seed. Some of it fell among thorn bushes, which grew up and choked the plant. It's not that it was not planted deep enough, but the environment where it was planted, it was not bad. It was a bad environment. In such circumstances, those thorn bushes, they represent lack of patience, greed, and ultimately, it failed to produce anything. But some of the seed fell on good soil, and the plant produced corn, ummbila. Ngokwesonto thina esakhulisa ogogo bethu kade betshala bebekwazi ukwenza impuphu, udla umndeni, udla umphakathi. Ezigodini esiphuma kizo, njengoba sihlezi sibumbene kanje, siwumphakathi. Kunokwesekana, kunokukhulisana. There's a sense of community. There's a sense of togetherness. And that good soil is what made the seed to produce corn. This corn not only fed the community and members of the family at that time, but it produced more seeds. And the principle of the story, when I reflect back on what is the meaning of a seed, to me it's wealth. It's wealth that if nurtured correctly, under the right conditions, iniselwe, it will become a great tree. Some of us can sit under its shade. Some of us can produce great things from this seed. When Inkosi invited us to the community of Ntlangwini, we discussed a lot of things. This is not the first community that we approached for this project, but this is the first community that embraced us. And what we found in Ntlangwini is a king committed to his people, committed to its future. Today, Inkosi yathi ifuna ukwakha intsha, the youth. And the program that we are launching today is this youth that is sitting in front of us today. This is the seed that we are planting today. Njengoba nihlezi lana, I do believe that over the last couple of months, there's a lot that has been shared to you guys. Kuningi ukuxhumana okube khona ukuthi nalo uhlelo sithanda ukuthi silethe la emphakathini. Kodwa thine sikude nomphakathi. Lo hlelo kumele kube ihlelo lomphakathi. And the best people to drive lolu hlelo yintsha yalomphakathi. Ngoba iyona kusasa lalomphakathi. So, as mentioned, our company is called Imali Wealth Group. Sizama ukuhlanganisa lobu cwepheshe kanye the natural wealth that we have through the land and make it work for us. The Agri-Smart Village was a concept that was started in 2018 through a research project funded by the Department of Science and Technology. Our first seed that was planted in us was to say, go look for solutions that can impact society. Because in South Africa, we have a huge problem of lack of employment by the youth. Thina sagijima sahamba saya emadolobheni sayohlala emabhilidini abelungu sakhela abelungu umnotho njengoba nje sila enhlangweni nasibuka uthuthuke kangakanani umphakathi wethu. Singasho ukuthi khona intuthuko singayikhomba yiphi indima thina esiyidlalile ukuthuthukisa umphakathi wethu. It is my great pleasure to have great minds seated in this room, to have ubukhosi supporting the youth of this community, but more importantly, Ubuntu. I was very encouraged by the hands that came together to make this work. We are not where we want to be, but we know where we are going. Njengoba sizolethula le program, siyasacela ukuthi sicela ukuhlanganisa at least a group of 12 young people who will start an agricultural program by utilizing the land that our King has provided us, to say how can this land be utilized for the benefit of this community. And I, for one, I won't say I'm an expert in farming, but with the tools that we can put together and the minds that we have here in this room, we can get some. These 12 youth that would like to start in Nhlangu will drive this program to at least by the beginning of next year, create opportunities for 300 farmers from this community. We have been in engagement with the private sector. We have been in engagement with governments and science institutions to say, how can you guys come to the party? The commitment that we have right now is to get us started. But to continue, we need to prove that we can do this. And I will not take too much time because our program started a bit late, but also our program continues tomorrow. What we're gonna be highlighting of what we would like to see this community become will be shared by my colleagues who know better and more than myself. So to just cut this short and let the great experts to present what they had prepared to present. I will end off by saying, ngicela ukuthi sibambisane, sibe nomuntu, sihloniphane. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share buttons below. We would also appreciate your comments. And remember to cannabis responsibly at all times.